Hi, my name is Garen. I'm a developer educator at Vonage, and I wanted to show you today how you can get set up to use our SDKs and APIs on Glitch. If you don't know about Glitch, it's a tool that you can use to make your code public. Not just the code, but actually host your application as well. And it's all in one place, so you have your code and the hosted application together. I really like using it for Vonage stuff because we need a lot of live webhooks for what we're doing. So I want to be able to send a text to a webhook that actually exists and is running and have it do something. It won't always be running because these are not meant to be for production, so sometimes it takes your app a minute to start up, but I think you can upgrade and make sure that your app is running permanently. The cool thing is that you have this editor here, right? And you've got an editor that goes along with your hosted application, and the changes are reflected immediately whenever you do anything to this. So if I'm looking at my application, whatever I'm seeing here is what I've put in the editor in the other tab on my browser, and it's all together here, which is very sweet for being able to test things out the same way it would be on your own machine, but this again allows you to do stuff like use the webhooks that you need for the Vonage APIs. And there's a whole set of tools that go with it. It's not just like an editor. There's logging, there's a terminal. You can see everything that's happening, so if you need to do a bunch of node console logging or something like that, that's available too. You can use a debugger if you want to take care of your bugs. There's application status. You can see how much memory you're using. All kinds of cool stuff here. I found it a big help in my projects using Vonage APIs, and I hope you will too. Creating a project on Glitch that's using the Vonage SDKs and APIs is not that much different than what you would do if you were going to create the project on your own machine. You're going to go to Glitch and you can use the New Project button. You probably want to choose Hello Express, assuming this is going to be a node server, and Express is a good starting point for whatever you're going to do. And then if you go down to the bottom, you can click the Tools button. That will reveal the terminal. You pop up the terminal, and from there you can start installing the SDKs. Again, this looks a lot like what you would do on your own machine, except that you might not be using pnpm on your own machine. You might just use npm. Here you're going to use pnpm to install Nexmo at beta, which is our Node SDK. It's the beta version because you want to get access to our beta projects like conversations and the messages and dispatch API. And that will then go ahead and install it. I've forgotten to make it verbose, but it is installing. That's what it's busy doing at the moment. Just wait for that to finish. And aha, there it's finished. So now if we want to verify that it's actually installed, we can use refresh, and the refresh command will update everything that you're seeing in your editor there. And so now if you go to package.json, you should see that whatever you've installed, in this case the Nexmo beta Node SDK, has appeared there in your dependencies. And so if we were to install something else, let's say we want to install the Nexmo client SDK, in case we have a client-side project that we're going to use the Vonage APIs with, we can do the same thing, and the same result should be what we get out of it. Once again, I've forgotten to make it verbose. So once it finishes running here, then we should be able to see it in package.json. Oop, and this one has had a little warning, I think, error that doesn't seem to have caused it to fail, but let's check. Let's refresh it again just to make sure that we do in fact have the Nexmo client SDK there in our package.json. Yep, it's there, so we're ready to use it. With your packages installed, you can go to server.js or whatever your main file is going to be where you're going to be doing your communication stuff, and you can actually require those packages and begin to use them. So server.js, this particular server.js, it just comes with the template project from Glitch, but you could put this in its own module. You could do whatever you wanted with it. But the same thing is what you would do. You would create a constant, in this case uppercase nextmo equals require nextmo, and then our convention is constant lowercase nextmo, because naming things is hard, equals, and then you just instantiate that object that you're getting from the SDK package, and then there you go, you're off to the races. So let's back up a second and talk about pnpm, which is something that you may have noticed was a little bit different. So pnpm is a way of making sure that you're not installing the same modules over and over again. If you're somebody like Glitch, who presumably has a lot of people installing a lot of node modules, it can help you condense that down. And to see why that might be useful, you can just take a look at what happens on your own machine when you install, for instance, our SDK. So if we make a little throwaway directory here, we can just call it throwaway. Again, naming things is hard. And then we go into that directory. And from here we'll initialize it so that we can install things. Just run through npm init, hitting enter, because this is a throwaway directory. And then now we can install. We'll do the same thing, the beta version of the Node SDK, just to be able to get a look at what that actually results in when you do it on your own machine here. And so now if we go into node modules, which should have just been created, you can see, whoa, this is a brand new directory. We've installed one thing, but this is all the stuff that we've got. And so that's why you might want a tool like pnpm or something to make sure that all of these dependencies aren't getting reinstalled for every project that somebody generates. Especially somebody like, say me, like everything I do installs the Nextmo Node Beta SDK. So that would be annoying for the people at Glitch to have to manage all those node modules getting installed over and over again if they didn't have some scheme to prevent that. One caveat I've noticed about pnpm is that sometimes there's some funkiness with the versions. So if you did run into problems where some part of a module that you had installed wasn't available or wasn't working the way you thought it would be, you can always just check that the version that you're using and that you have installed corresponds to the version that you think you have installed. And hopefully you will be able to easily find the problem that way if there is a problem. But for the most part, it should just work. And finally, on the topic of getting set up, that was the hard way. The easy way to install packages is just to go to package.json and put the package that you want in there, and then you should be able to go into your code and just use it that way, because Glitch will automatically download and install that package. And so then you can, for instance, take body parser, require body parser here in your code, and then I can go down here and just use body parser. And notice I never had to go into the terminal or do anything funky. And as far as I know, that's not because body parser is such a common package. It's because I put it into the package.json. And that's automatically triggered in npm install or whatever it is to make sure that all the dependencies that I want are available. So that's it. Then you can start coding with the Vonage APIs.